Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we could do a little bit of a bedroom refresh and a little bit of a makeover, but I wanted to set myself a challenge to keep it under $100. I think it's great to be able to change up your decor from time to time, and definitely between seasons or just if you're kind of cycling through things in your house, but I definitely don't want to be spending money because I change my mind a lot. So if I'm kind of adding or taking away things, sometimes I just pop them away in a cupboard and I might bring them back out again later, or I'll just try and look for some really affordable decor items. So it's not going to be like a totally extreme room makeover, but it's just a really beautiful reset and refresh of the space. So just a super quick reminder, if you are new here, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I put up new videos every single week, and the most exciting one will be coming next week because I'm going to be doing finally the full apartment tour. I just had some beautiful handles. I might show you actually. So these just arrived. I bought these half moon kind of brassy gold handles, and they will be going on the cupboards that are behind me. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of a DIY project with that this week, and then that's the last thing I wanted done. I know that's very precious to like need to do something so minor to show you around my house, but it's just how I feel because I wanted it to look a little bit more complete. So that is it, and let's just get straight into it, and I can show you, I guess from a designer's point of view as well, some of the principles that I like to have in a particular space. But first, as you can see, I have not made my bed today, so I just need to pop in there and give it a quick clean up. Now, one of the quickest, easiest, and most affordable ways to update a room is throw pillows or cushions, and I have found some really cute ones today. So I'm going to be incorporating a little bit of a dusty pink color into my room. I bought some pajamas in this color the other day and I just kind of fell back in love with it. So I thought, why not add that accent into my house? The rest of my theme in the house in general is kind of like tans and grays and white. So it does go quite well together, and it really just brings a bit of warmth into a space that can otherwise look a little bit too stark. So often if you go very, very minimal and there's just a lot of white, it can kind of just be a little bit overwhelming and the eye can kind of struggle to focus in on things. Whereas if you add in a little pop of color or some greenery or something, it'll really just liven up that space. So in terms of the colored pillow options, I have this pink circular one, and I think that's another thing as well, that in a room where it's quite rectilinear and a lot of the shapes in it are, you know, rectangles like the bed, or a lot of square profiles and things, like you can see my little bedside table there is also a little bit more structured, then I like to add in some really soft and curvy elements to break that up. So I've got this light pink pillow, which I think is quite nice and feminine. This one in the beautiful dusty pink that's a little bit of a bolster pillow shape, I guess. And then I have two other pillows to go behind that as well. So I've got this white pillow that's a little bit bigger, and I really liked it because it is textured. So again, if you're going for a more minimal aesthetic and you really do want to retain as much white and things as possible, then just try and pop in a few different textures and things instead, because that will still add a lot of visual interest. And the other pillow I got is this one. It kind of ties in with the rest of the theme of my house. And like I said, in terms of upcycling different parts of decor, I would definitely use both of these other pillows on my couch if I were to change that up at a later date. So it's definitely a little bit of a value add to kind of be able to move things around as well. And all of these cushions were just from Kmart and they were about $8 each. So that brings our total at the moment to around $32. So let's go ahead and pop them onto the bed, and we'll have a little transformation of that area with a pop of color. So the next item I want to add in is something that's a little bit personalized, but without being a photo. So I do have a lot of personal photos sort of around my space, but I think in the bedroom, I just wanted something that was just a little bit me and would add a bit of interest to the back of my bedside table. And I can definitely interchange that with a piece of art or a canvas or a little mirror or something. But instead I've got this little DIY letterboard. I didn't kind of find a place that I felt like I wanted to mount it in my house, but then I tested it out there and I actually do really like it. It kind of really frames that table and just turns it into a little space. So this is the letterboard. This was just another cheap Kmart purchase, and I put my YouTube name up there and just a quote that I really like. And it came with a bunch of different lettering, so I can obviously change this out as often as I like, which definitely suits me because I love any pieces of adaptable decor. The next thing I want to add in is some greenery. I think indoor plants really lift any space, and there are definitely studies which have been done about these improving our mood and just your general health and well-being in terms of any indoor air quality. So I would love to add some more indoor plants, in particular in my bedroom, but because it does kind of get a lot of natural light, it has to be plants that are happy to have quite strong filtered light. So I've chosen a ZZ plant and a pothos, or the devil's ivy, and I grew this particular one from a cutting. So I literally put a cutting in some water, it grew roots, and then I potted it, and it's grown into this beautiful long string. So I thought this would look perfect being in its little white pot sitting on my bedside table, but it kind of won't be long until I need to trim this because it's just growing like crazy. So I know that it definitely enjoys that really well lit environment because I had this by the window, so I think it'll be very happy in its new home. The next plant I selected is this ZZ plant. These are very hard wearing. I think it's called a Zanzibar gem by any other name. I got this from Bunnings, same with the pot that it's in, and this one is basically unkillable. So it's a perfect plant if it's something that you were to often forget about watering because it doesn't need much care and attention. And I really would love to put this up on a shelf that is my sort of bedside dresser table, I think, and that will just add a little bit of more greenery to that side of the room as well. Now, something else I wanted to work on in this space, which I haven't done before, is displaying a couple of items. And I really like when things kind of feel like they're displayed in a retail kind of way. So I would like to put a couple of my hats on display, some sunglasses, and some of my bags. So I have been busily on Pinterest collecting a couple of inspiration images, and I will pop them here. So this is kind of what I'm thinking in terms of stacking the shelves in my wardrobe a little bit differently, and also mounting my hats on the wall, which I think can look very cool. And you can literally just get some 3M hooks from Bunnings to do this. It's very simple, quite renter friendly, and I just think it looks really cool. Instead of having a lot of these items just tucked away in a cupboard or, you know, maybe getting damaged or something, you can actually take better care of them by just popping them up on the wall as a piece of decor. And even better, it costs $0 because it's something that you already own. So these are my two hats that I want to mount on the wall. They're quite different, but I think they'll look nice next to each other. So one is this kind of black felt fedora, and the other one is a hat that I bought traveling in Morocco, and it's just a really fun straw hat. So I bought the little hooks to put up on the wall, and that is going next to you guys here. And I just think it looks really cool. It adds a lot of visual interest to that area. Now, the final part of this is a little bit of a room declutter as well, and it's because I have these shelf sections behind me, and it certainly is not looking in any way Pinterest worthy, so I definitely want to jump in there and just clear all of that out. I think it's just an area in my home that was a little bit of a dumping ground, and I didn't kind of have a clear idea of what I wanted on these shelves, so nothing ever really happened, and I never adjusted the heights as well, so they've got some little holes down the side here where I can move the shelves up and down to suit myself as well. So I think I might just kind of make a little plan for what I want to put on here and how I want it displayed, and then I can kind of adjust the shelves so it all fits in really nicely. So one idea I did have is to display a bunch of my bags a little bit nicer. So some of them kind of live in the drawer section below here, and a lot of them are just scattered around the house. So I think it'd be really nice if I could just set this up to be a little bit of a handbag area. So I might just sort out what kind of height I need the shelf to be at to fit that in. Okay, so first thing I'm thinking is because I'm quite tall, I tend to look at shelves that are up a little bit higher, whereas someone who's shorter, of course, you would reach for the lower shelf because it's going to be more accessible. So I think in that sense, it's good to arrange your home in a way that literally suits you. We're all kind of into different things. We like to arrange things in a different way. And I just think it kind of needs to be in order of priority of like what you're going to be using most frequently and what you really need to reach for versus what is just sort of sitting there as a little bit of a still decor item. So I'm thinking I might rearrange this shelf to push these ones up to as high as they can go, because that way I'm going to be able to fit in the things that I want to put there. Okay, so now I've rearranged that so that the two shelves here are the largest ones, and that is where I'm going to start building my bag collection up onto. That is the damage of everything that I pulled off of those shelves. So there is quite a lot to get through and organize, but I do have a good idea of where I want to place everything. So I think we'll start with some handbags. So I do have this nice yellow Fendi box from a belt that I have. So I was thinking I might use that to kind of firstly set up the space. If you have any nice bags or, you know, just really cute boxes and things that products come in sometimes, I recommend hanging on to them because they can make for really good decor pieces as well. The next bag I want to stack in front of that is this one from Peter and Jane. Now, I don't own a bunch of expensive handbags. I haven't kind of had that obsession before, so I will get there one day, I think. I would love to have like a YSL handbag or something, but I spent all my money on traveling, so I never kind of was the sort of girl that would get a designer bag. So a lot of the bags you will see in this are just really cute going out bags, and they're very inexpensive, but I do think it is nice to pop them on a shelf and display them. Something I found when I was thrifting for just a couple of dollars is this really cute little dish. It just says pins, and I think it's just a little old sewing dish, and it's got cute little feet on the bottom of it as well. So I'm just going to store some earrings in that and use it as a nice little dish, and I think I'll place that on the shelf with the bags as well. Now, this whole sectioned compartment thing is just a bunch of costume jewelry and things that I've collected over the years. So there is so many different earrings and bracelets and things, just like trendy bits that I had obsessions with that I didn't quite want to get rid of because it's good for styling with outfits. So I don't really reach for this too often because I have my favorite necklaces and things just over on the shelf there. So I think I will just pop this up in the top cupboard. Something that can be hidden away, which is not an item of decor or display or anything, is just my book collection. These are ones that I'm yet to read yet, and I just bring one down every time that I've got it, and then I usually just pass them on to a charity store or like an op shop or something. So I'm gonna hide these ones up on the top shelf behind some decor so that I can just grab them down when I need. Now, I've also got two other handbags which are little favorites of mine. So I've got this beige snakeskin kind of one, and I have this gold glow mesh one that I got for my 30th birthday. So I think I'll pop those on the shelf above. Now, in terms of what to do to hide the books that are up on this top shelf here, I do have these little white slide in and out trays that I had from IKEA, and I will just put that there for now, but the width of this is not enough to fit two of these side by side. So I think I will do a little trip to IKEA next week and grab some things. I've been meaning to get this, which is a cable hiding thing, and I really desperately want that for under my table over there and under the TV, just to hide away any pesky cables and like bunches of power boards and things like that. So when I'm there, I will try and pick up something that looks a little bit better that can fit up there instead. On second thoughts, I might put the two of them down here on this bottom shelf. They do sort of slide in and out, so it's just going to make it easier for me to get to stuff if I have them down here. I've just got a little Turkish towel and I don't exactly have a home for it, so I think I might just slot it in between the two of these. I've also got this other beige scarf that's quite textured as well, so I think I will also put it in with that Turkish towel just to add a little bit of volume. I've got a few other miscellaneous bags that I don't reach for as often, so I'm going to put them up on that top shelf. Now I've got some sunglasses that I'm going to place on the shelf as well. So I have this one little trinket that I might add in as well. This is from a bar in Hong Kong called Iron Fairies. Now, you're definitely not meant to take them, so I'm very sorry, but I had a few too many cocktails and I thought it was a good idea at the time to take a little keepsake. I'm sure hundreds of these go missing, but it is a solid iron little fairy and it's so beautiful. It's a real ornate little statue, so I think I might just put that with the trinket bowl. The last item I'll add in is a fluffy beanie behind this Naked Vice hat up here. This can kind of be a little bit of a hat shelf. And to be honest, that is me done because I did want to keep it under budget, so I'm only working with what I've got. I wasn't going to buy any new items to style this up properly, so I really just wanted to give this shelf and this area an entire makeover and show you that you can kind of just work with what you've got and then slowly add to it and upgrade it over time. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you in the next one.